Hi everyone, here is my video talking through the website that I have created. This is still a little bit rough. It's my birthday, so I'm heading down south for the weekend, so I thought I'd get in early. If I want to redo it later, I can do. So what I've coded so far is I've done the front page. I've managed to do who we are and some of packages. The other two, I'll be adding to them as we go and as I can kind of add in a bit more, particularly the get started. I think is going to be pretty essential to use JavaScript with that one. So I haven't done that yet. So this is what I've got so far. I've got the index down the side. What I would ideally like is for this to float. So I'm going to look into whether or not I can figure out how to code that to stay stationary at the side. I haven't figured that out yet. But then we've got this, it's coded to continue on a loop. So that's nice. There's no sound to the video anyway, so that doesn't make any difference. I did with formatting, the file has got this white border around it. So I'm going to see if my friend can send me one without it, because that will make it a bit easier to format. Yeah, I kept thinking when it was a white background, I was like, why is it so far from the top? Nothing to do with formatting, it was just the file size. So if we click on who we are, we can go through to the second page. I do need to add in a bit more information here and put some pictures and packages I've done a little bit of, and this is where that it becomes a bit more clear about what I want at the side. So it is formatted to be that kind of like along the side. But what ideally I would like to be able to do is to code that to stay, so when you scroll down, you still get it. So let's have a look at the code that I wrote. So here is the main page. I've broken it up into two parts. So in my CSS file, which we'll get to in a little bit, I've divided it up into a grid. So you've got the two the two columns even. So you've got the column for the links, which is down the side, and then the other column, which is wider, which is where the video and or information goes. I was able to link that same format to all of the pages actually, which worked really well. But I suppose given, or if maybe for a different page, if that format doesn't, or if that layout doesn't work, then I can adjust that later. But for the moment, it works well for the structure of it, so that was good. Top bit as per usual, I've linked in the CSS style sheet. I had a bit of trouble getting it to link into the correct file. Also, when I pushed it up to Git, when it was in a folder, it wasn't loading properly, so I will need to double check about that. But here we've got the div class, so that's the container, so that's what I'll look at with CSS with regards to the different columns that I used. I've got the div class for links, which is the links that we've got down the side, so that will tell us how that is formatted. And then these are the links to the different pages, which I have also partly coded. And then we've got the video, which is what I showed you before. So we've got the width of it is 60%, height is auto. Autoplay muted. It makes sure that it does play when you click onto the website, and loop just means that it goes around. Yeah, so that's the first page. The body, I have the background color set as light blue, which you can see here. I don't think I like this blue, so I will probably change it, but good for a start. Then we've got the container. I played around with this a little bit, so you can see here I've got it set as a grid. The height and width is 100% of the view width and height, which means it just takes up the screen, which does mean that it adjusts as you change the screen size, so that's good. Set up as a grid, and then we've got the columns. So I'm using two columns. So one column is 20% of the width, and the other one is whatever the remaining fraction is. So again, it will adjust when you change the size. And we've just got one row. I didn't need to or want to have multiple rows, so I've just left it as one, and it's just that kind of chunk where you can put all the information in, which has worked for me. The video, again, I played around with a lot of different things with the video. I haven't got anything in here yet because I think at the moment it looks fine. So if I get a different sized file, I will probably change that, but for the moment it's okay. H1 we've got for the, oh, I don't need that, sorry. H1 we've got for the headings, so they're very big, they're in the center. H2, a few things. P, I didn't want the P to take up the whole width of it. I think it looks much better when it takes up less. So I've set that to 80, which has done well. And then div, so this was what I did for the links. So in the div, we've got them floating inline. So they're going down that column on the side. I played around quite a bit with the height and padding to try to get them. I wanted them to be vertically centered, and I found that quite hard to find an answer to, but I think I've made it look okay from this. That's good. I also quite liked having the link background be a bit different from the main background to make it stand out a little bit. And at one point I had a different color along the top. I'm not sure how I did that, but I got rid of it. So maybe I'll put it in at a different point to give it a few more. If we have a look again quickly, so on the home page, that it is quite blue and white, so I was wanting to stick with that. I'll play around with the colors a little bit more going forward, but that's what I've done so far. So yeah, hopefully that is okay. Yeah, excellent. Goodbye.